A few days ago, we talked about how the Baltimore Ravens have still not signed Mike Green to his rookie contract yet. But it's to no fault of Mike Green's at all. It's simply because the Browns and the Texans, they love throwing a loop when it comes to contracts in the NFL. But they signed their early second-round picks to fully guaranteed deals. So that made a domino effect. Because the remaining 30 NFL second-round picks from this year, they were like, oh, if they got guaranteed money, fully guaranteed contracts, we want fully guaranteed contracts. But we got a positive update that allows the Baltimore Ravens to get that much closer to signing Mike Green. So that's a beautiful thing. Let's read the report that came from Adam Schefter. It says, the next big domino in the second round has fallen. 49ers second round pick, Alfred Collins, the number 43rd overall selection. So 16 picks before Mike Green. He said, reached an agreement tonight on a 4-year, $10.3 million deal that includes over $9 million guaranteed, and now is expected to trigger multiple second round signings per sources. So he got a lot of his deal guaranteed, but it is not fully guaranteed. So that can allow players that come right before him, but definitely the ones that come after him to know, like, hey, it ain't going to be fully guaranteed, but you're still going to get a good amount of guarantees on your contract. But let's continue. It says, until now, 30 of the 32 second-round picks remained without a deal. Collins will have 88% of his deal guaranteed, which is a huge jump over last year's number 43rd overall pick. So that sets a nice precedent moving forward for the remainder of the second-round picks. But guess what? It gets better because Ian Rappaport reported the Bears and second-round defensive tackle Shamar Turner have agreed to terms on his 4-year rookie contract, sources says, as the logjam slowly begins to open up. But how does that impact Mike Green? Just how significant is the Bears signing their second-round pick to his contract? Well, Shamar Turner was selected by the Chicago Bears in the second round of the draft at the 62nd overall pick. So just 3 spots after Mike Green. So this sets up nice for the Baltimore Ravens because you have somebody that was drafted significantly before Mike Green, but you have somebody that was drafted right after. So what they can do, they can look at Shamar Turner's deal and they can be like, all right, Mike, we'll give you a little more guarantees than that, but quite a bit less than the 49ers second-round pick, but I'm sure there'll be some more second-round picks to sign before Mike Green does. But it is a beautiful thing that knowing that officially Mike Green will be a Baltimore Raven very, very soon. ESPN has been dropping their top 10 list for the different position groups in the NFL. We, of course, went over the quarterbacks and Lamar Jackson being ranked at number 4. I still can't get with that. And then Roquan Smith, he was ranked number 2. That was one that I agreed with. But there's somebody that we forgot to mention, and it's our super-duper safety, Kyle Hamilton. Because when ESPN dropped their top 10 list on the safeties, we ain't had to go through picks 2 through 10. We got to see who they picked to be number 1, and that was our guy. Let's read why. It says, Hamilton, he gets the benefit of the doubt despite a production dip. In 2023, he was the only safety with at least 10 tackles for a loss and 10 pass deflections. He added 3 sacks and 4 interceptions, yet finished second behind Antoine Winfield Jr. in the top 10 ranking. But this year, he was down significantly in each of those categories, yet received more than 60% of the first place vote. So people realized, and they said, hold up, this dude Kyle Hamilton, he really is super duper. But let's see why. It says the reason is simple. His value transcends numbers. I can't argue with you on that. He says, all-around best player, size instincts, production, blitz ability, an NFL personnel director said. I mean, the list really goes on, but he wanted to keep it short and concise. I feel you. Anyway, he says Hamilton's 14.5 ball hawking rate is decent, but unspectacular, coming on 76 targets, but he can line up all over the field. From free safety to star linebacker, he played 200 snaps in 2024 from the slot as an overhang defender. We don't call him Super Duper Kyle for no reason. Like, that name didn't come out of nowhere. It came from watching him and seeing literally how he can do it all. He can do everything. If we had 11 Kyle Hamiltons on defense, wouldn't give up a single point. Anyway, he said he is one of 5 players over the past 2 seasons with 15 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, and multiple forced fumbles. Great player, scheme Pacific. Whoa. Let me stop you right there. Because that's what an AFC executive said. He said, in his role, he's very good. He can't man cover, and he does not have elite range. That's why teams with quicker receivers can have success against him. Now, when this AFC executive said, great player, but scheme specific, maybe a little backhand compliment right there. But that part right there, I can't get with that. Because we've heard that before about extremely great players like a Lamar Jackson, for example. People said that about him. Say, oh, Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's great, but it's more so G-Ro's scheme. That's why Lamar Jackson is so great. That's why he's been doing so good. Yeah, because of G-Ro. What happened when Lamar got out of that scheme? What happened when he got out of that system? Things went on another level. He was finally not being held back anymore. And with Kyle Hamilton, to say that he's scheme specific, oh, no. Not our super duper Kyle. Not him. Oh, no. Because I guarantee you put him in any scheme. You put him on any defense. Now, we don't want that to happen now. But speaking hypothetically, you put him on any other team and any other defenses, he is going to shine because he can do so much.
Flock flies to the wise, it's a wonderful thing. Look what vision and commitment and some discipline brings. When 8 becomes 1, the mood swings and the flock sings for another ring. Man, we tuning in to Ingravenvids at that scene tonight. Team keep it clean, hold it down, the spark to ignite. A name in the lights, a North Star, ain't feeling far. When you run that north every year, that's just setting the bar.
We've reached my favorite part of the videos, and we ain't gonna waste no time. We getting straight into it. First question came from the newest Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy, Baby Ray 5210. He said, "What's up, Ingraven? What's up, baby? What's happening, man?" He said, "Want to start off by saying I appreciate the hard work and dedication you put in each and every day to keep the Flock Nation up to date with any and everything Ravens related, no matter how big or small. And before you try to shut it down and be humble, receive your flowers whenever you can, because I know, like me and everyone else, we appreciate everything that you do." No, I appreciate y'all, because y'all do everything. Like I tell y'all make the videos what they are. Because early on in the videos, we talk about whatever's going on, whatever's happening, but the majority of the videos, it's y'all. So this is all y'all's doing, really. He said, "Sorry for the long intro, but now for my question." Well, more of a statement. We have a chance to make history. What I mean by that is this. Now, I need you to really put on your vision glasses for this one and speak it into existence, but we have a chance to have the following: MVP, Lamar Jackson; Offensive Player of the Year, Derrick Henry; Defensive Player of the Year, Kyle Hamilton. We were just talking about Super Duper Kyle. He said Defensive Rookie of the Year, either Malachi Starks or Mike Green. Well, Mike Green got to get signed first, but he will soon. He said, and newest award for the Lineman Protector of the Year, Linda Flender. Oh, yeah, I'm glad they're doing that award now. Shout out to the offensive lineman. They're getting some love now, too. He said, "I would say Wester for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he would have that big of an impact at wide receiver." Yeah, I agree. And not anything against him. It's just because of everything that's in front of him on the offense. He said, "So hear me out. If the Ravens play like they should and ball out like they should," well, we done heard that before. And they usually do that in the regular season, but playoffs, Anyway, he said, if the Ravens play like they should and ball out like they should. I don't see why this can't happen. Look how close this was for Lamar and Henry last year for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. It was close. I mean, Lamar should have had it. Them giving it to Saquon Barkley, I understand that completely. He got over 2,000 rushing yards. Of course, he added some receiving yards in there as well. And I think what really pushed him over the top, too, was the sexy plays. Obviously, Derrick Henry made plenty of sexy plays, too, but the memorable plays. And with Saquon Barkley, when he turned around, put his cheeks in the air, and jumped over, I think it was a Jaguars defender, oh, yeah, that was big for him. Because it's those moments. Like, when they're doing the voting, they really care. They care about the numbers, obviously, but they also care about the moments. Anyway, continuing. It says, "I don't think Barkley will have that big of a season like last year, so that will open the door for Derrick Henry, and we all know how Lamar's coming. With Hamilton being able to go back to being everywhere, I don't see why he can't win Defensive Player of the Year. Starks and Green are where it will get tricky, but I have faith that one of the two will have a major season that won't go unnoticed." Okay, I like that. He said, "What are your thoughts? And if not all, which awards do you feel like one of our Ravens can bring home this year?" Now, I think probably the most likely, which is crazy that we're even saying that, but it's true, it will be Lamar Jackson getting an MVP. He should have had a third MVP last season, but, they felt bad for Josh Allen. I'm like, oh, Lamar can't have all the MVPs. Josh Allen got to have one, too. And he got it. But that's a realistic one. And I remember when we talked to Coach Van, who is Lamar Jackson. He the one that really got Lamar Jackson started in football. So shout out to Coach Van, because you really changed the game, my friend. But when we talked to him, he said he could see Lamar Jackson getting like 4 or 5 more MVPs. And that's when he first said that, I said, oh, but man, I thought about it. I was like, oh, well, that actually is realistic. And because he talked about it, how Lamar Jackson ain't even done his best stuff yet. He said this before last season. And again, he's somebody that knows Lamar, like really knows Lamar Jackson like that. So it was nice to hear him say that. And we ended up seeing the very next season is very realistic. And he should have had that another MVP, but it is what it is. But some other realistic ones, I mean, all of them are realistic, but at the same time, the NFL, they wouldn't want Ravens to have all the awards. So they'd be like, no, Ravens, you got to give something to somebody else too. Sluggish Ro. Next question came from my guy Jalen. He said, what's up, Ingraven? I seen the comments on Roquan Smith looking sluggish and out of shape, and I can't say I disagree that he looks slow and out of position at times, and I can't even blame the coordinator who said it, especially if they are going off the beginning of the season, but sluggish and out of shape doesn't seem warranted to a Ravens fan that is locked into the team. My speculation of the Ro situation is that he intentionally came into the season heavier. If you remember, at the end of the 2023 season, Ro and PQ were both dealing with nagging shoulder and chest injuries. Knowing that he is an every down linebacker that was going to have to take on the brunt of the run-stopping duties without his then reliable running mate in PQ, he could have been trying to protect his body. Not only that, but I'm sure he didn't expect for the play behind him and next to him to be so bad. I think he felt like it would be insinuated or insulated in pass defense, and he could really lock in on being that thumper that could also be a reliable in pass defense. I ain't think about that. That's interesting. He said instead, he ended up being forced to do much more than his then physique could handle. Would love to hear your thoughts, and God bless you, and team, keep it clean. That's a real interesting one right there. So he put on some weight intentionally, some more weight intentionally, because he was going to be taking on those run-stopping abilities even more, and just to sort of try to protect his body, add some little extra shield to it with some extra weight. That's a possibility. But really to validate that or invalidate it, I want to see how Roquan comes in this year. Whether he ends up shedding a lot of weight, comes in a little smaller so he can be better in pass coverage, and still be a good run stopper, or if he just continues to play as a little more solid linebacker, solid weight-wise and whatnot. We know he's definitely much better than just a solid linebacker. But I'm interested to see what he does, because it reminds me like sort of a reverse situation of Ray Lewis in 2012. Remember in 2012, with Ray Lewis, beginning of the season, he looked skinny. I was like, whoa, he shed so much weight. I said, whoa, where you at? But he said he did that intentionally so he could keep up with the tight ends, because the game was changing back then. And Ray Lewis was like, oh, no, I'm going to be transcendent. I'm trying to keep up. This defense, they need me to do this, so I'm going to do it for them. And I remember he was faster. He was quicker. But I remember in the beginning of the season, he wasn't tackling as well. And I was like, oof, it was rough to see. But then when he got that tricep injury, that tricep that was hurt, he was still using that tricep to eat, because he put on a lot of weight. He looked better. But yeah, he put on all that weight. But hey, it ended up working out because Ravens still won a Super Bowl. So with Roquan, could it be in reverse to where last year he did put on a little bit of weight, at least early on in the season? But could he shed some weight to try to play a little bit differently? We'll see in training camp. Next question came from my guy Gabe. He said, hey, Ingraven, how you doing? My name is Gabe, and I've been watching for about 2 years now. Okay, Gabe, I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. He said, I got a question about our boy Lamar. I've been noticing that the media constantly holds Lamar to a higher standard than Josh Allen. That they do. Because I have never seen not one segment. Let me know if I missed it or something. But I've never seen one segment where the media says, oh, if the Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year, is that a failure? Is their season a failure, or is their career a failure? Because they've gone to them extremes with Lamar Jackson multiple times, multiple conversations. I mean, look at Acho. And I ain't making fun of him getting fired at all. But when he was on his show, they had a lot of those conversations over and over and over. It was like, man, what are we doing? But anyway, he said, so the media constantly holds Lamar to a higher standard than Josh Allen, but also ranks him lower than Josh Allen. Oh, that's true. Because they will say, oh, all this about Lamar Jackson. Oh, if he don't succeed, then this. If he don't succeed, then that. If he don't win the Super Bowl this year, then this and that. But with Josh Allen, they will rank him higher. Oh, Josh Allen's better. What? And it's the weirdest thing. And he said, it's very puzzling to me, and I wonder why you think that is. It could be for a lot of different reasons, but hey, we don't know for sure. Next question came from my guy, Jayden. He said, hey, Ingraven, my name is Jayden. I hope all is well. Hey, appreciate you, Jayden. He said, I got a question. With the Ravens having a great draft and solving issues on top of signings like D-Hop, Jair Alexander, Chidobe Awuzie, etc., if the Ravens don't at least make the Super Bowl, will there be coaching adjustments that need to be made? Or is Lamar just not built for the playoffs? I would love to hear your thoughts. That's a good question right there. Now, Lamar's certainly built for the playoffs. Lamar's built for everything. The coaching staff, they built for the playoffs. They built for everything. Now, if for some reason the Baltimore Ravens, they failed to at least even make the Super Bowl, I actually thought coaching changes should have been made years ago. But I will certainly continue to think that if they did not make the Super Bowl this year, because it would just be terrible, man. It would be terrible again. It has already been terrible. They've already failed multiple times with really good rosters too. And they've had no excuses but to make the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl, but they haven't. They've kept coming up short. So I think it would be much smarter for them to make a change on a coaching staff before they made a change at the quarterback position. Because you think about this, and I know people say, oh, well, the grass ain't always greener. And with John Harbaugh, then who? If not John Harbaugh, then who? And hey, I get that. John Harbaugh been here since 2008. Shout out to consistency. Shout out to longevity. But if the Baltimore Ravens were to go in another direction at head coach, which, again, 9.99999 times out of 10, they won't. But if they were to, then another coach, and we said this before, another coach who came in here would have a real hard time failing when you got players like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Isaiah Likely, Tyler Linderbaum, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Nnamdi Madubuike, Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey. There's even more that we ain't even go over, but still, you would have a hard time failing with a roster like that. So if they did go in another direction at head coach, I think that if they failed this year, that could be a good thing. But Ravens ain't failing this year. This got to be the year that they actually get it done. They got the pieces. They got the coaching staff. They got the personnel. They got everything that they need and more. So it's up to them to finish the job. But then you could wonder, could they add even more pieces to make a strong roster even better? Well, if you watch this video right here, we'll tell you exactly which pieces are a possibility for them adding.